Hey guys, we are jumping into Genesis 23. In this chapter, to me, we learn a lot about what it is to mourn, what it is to weep for someone. Not just that, we also just see Abraham humble himself. We see how people view him and how he viewed himself. And we just see the favor of God upon him, which means all of Abraham's life. But we really see it in this chapter. So let's jump in. So we see that in the beginning, Sarah just passed away. She lived till she was 127 years old, and she passed away. And so Abraham took the time to mourn her. And so the mourning in the Israelite community was more like maybe he put on ashes and sackcloth. He actually showed the physical sorrow of what was happening. And the Bible also said he wept for her. He shedded tears for her. So he took the time to honor her life. He took the time to really just say, hey, I honor you, I love you, and I'm weeping and shedding of the tears. And when I was looking at a little research, it said, when Moses died, they mourned for him for 30 days. So we don't know if that was just a custom ritual, or at least I don't know exact, but for a time, he mourned his wife. And when that time was up, because he was a nomad and traveler, he went to the land that he was in. And he ended up going to the sons of Heth, because he went to their land, because he was in their land, and he went to them and said, hey, would you guys allow me to have ownership of this cave so I can bury my dead, so I can send Sarah off? And the sons of Heth basically says, of course, Abraham, we will. We know you've honored your wife's life, and we will definitely do that. And as a matter of fact, it says we will give you the choicest, I don't know if that's a word or not, but we'll give you the best cave that we have. Basically anything that you ask for, we will do. So then Abraham turns around and said, okay, and this is where he goes in. He bows down before the people in the Heth, the sons of Heth, who were at the city gate, which those are all people of authority, people of wealth, because that's what the people that make the transactions. He did all this in front of the people and said, well, would you go to the son of Ephron and ask him, can I buy this particular cave? Is that this part of his land, and I want to buy it from him? And Ephron was one of the people that was at the city gate, and he said, of course, you can buy that. He said, matter of fact, I'm not just going to give you the cave, I'm going to give you the field and the cave. I'm going to give you these two things so you can purchase. And then we see Abraham bows again, and he bows down before him, and he said, okay, if you agree to this, then I'm willing to purchase at the price basically that you said. Ephron said, okay, it's worth 400 silver shekels. And he says, what is that between us? So Abraham buys the lot from the sons of Heth, or from Ephron, buys it, and is solid, because he did it contractual, because he did it at the city gate, where this is how they handle all their business transactions. So this showed that this is the plot of land that Abraham owned, so he can bury Sarah, not just for him, but in the future that is to come. So you can look at this as like, okay, this is just Abraham burying his wife, and it's something simple, but it's so much goodness inside of this. And so some of my notes, when I was thinking about this, is how one of the things is about like honor, and how he honored Sarah's life. Now he took the time, again, when I just explained, he mourned her, he showed the sorrow that he was expressing, he shedded tears for her. But once that was done, he came about business, and he went to the sons of Heth of everything we just talked about. And what I love in that part, because Abraham said, hey, I'm just a foreign traveler, I'm a nomad, so I would like to buy land. But they responded back to Abraham in this really different way than how Abraham saw himself. They said, we see you, you are a mighty prince among us. You can have basically what you desire. You can have the best of our tombs. None of us will prevent you from burying your dead. So my first point, what I learned from this is like, sometimes we can view ourselves one way, but the people around us view us another way. Abraham was going into this situation like, hey, I'm a foreigner, I don't belong here, this is not the land yet, this is the land God has promised him, but I'm gonna go and honor the people that do own the land. You know what they say? Hey, we look at you as a prince among us. We look at you like you're royalty, that like kind of like not maybe above us, but we look at somebody, we admire you. So you can ask anything of us and we will give it to you. And I just like, man, that's such a good reminder that sometimes how we see ourselves is not how other people, because Abraham didn't go in that situation puffed up. We see this if we read the word, that he goes in there and he bows down to the people. Multiple times in this whole chapter, he bows down to them to honor them. He humbled himself. Even though even after they say, hey, we see you as a prince among us, he still humbled himself. He still honored the people in the land. And so I just think it's just a beautiful reminder where Abraham is presenting himself in this one thing. They're like, no, we see you as this, as royalty, someone that you admire because the way you live your life. It's kind of like what that king that made that treaty with him, or Amalek, I think that's around. It was like, look, the favor of God is on you. So I want to make a treaty with you for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because we see the favor of God. So Abraham lived in such a way that the favor of God was upon him. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. We also see where, going back into the favor, right? And we're really talking about the favor of God. It's also this thing of Abraham went to go buy a cave and left with a whole bunch of land. He went just to present himself to the people to buy a cave so he could bury Sarah. And yet we see Abraham was like, no, I'm not going to give you the cave. I'm going to give you the field. I'm going to give you all of this. And this is the land that was what Abraham secured. It said in verse 17, Abraham secured Ephron's field in Machpelah. Don't get at me because I'm mispronouncing things. Next to Mamre, Jesus, bless it again, including the field, the cave that was in it, and all the trees that were in the field and around its border. Abraham went to buy a cave and came out with all that land because the favor of God was upon him, because he was faithful and obedient what God has called him to. But also, when I was reading this, what kind of stood out to me, they kept saying, go bury your dead. Go bury your dead. And I was reading it and I was talking to my spirit, like, is that a sign of comfort? And they realized, like, they wanted to bless Abraham with this thing. They wanted to give him this thing because they wanted him to bury his dad. They recognized what he was going through and they admired him and respected him so much that he came out of it with more than what he went into it. But I also think because he humbled himself, he bowed down, which he didn't have to, right? If they already said, hey, we see you so much above us, he could be like, I'm Abraham, I'm the wealthiest person, I'm like God's favorite. But no, he went in his humbleness to honor the land, the people in the land, and therefore he was honored because he had the favor of God on him. And I just thought that was just such a beautiful thing. Also, when I was researching this, this is the first time we see Abraham buy land. So Abraham was a nomad. We know this from the moment God told him to leave his land, he constantly moved around. He might have stayed in one place for a long time and moved another place. This is the first time we see in the word that he actually bought a piece of land. And he bought land, catch it, in the land of the Canaanites, which was also where God told him where his people would reside. So really, when I was researching it, and some of my stuff in my research said that Abraham bought that in faith. He was banking on what God has already promised him. He was banking on like, hey, this is what God said, this is what my land is, so I'm gonna go ahead and purchase this. This is gonna be outright mine because all of this is gonna be my descendants one day too. And by faith, I'm gonna purchase this land to bury my dead, to bury my wife that I loved and walked with for years. And I'm gonna do this in such a way that no one can take that away from me. Because that's the thing, he was a nomad. He only stayed in a little place for a little bit and moved. So Abraham bought the place where he can go back to and know is legally his, where he buried his wife. That he didn't have to worry about, and I don't know, this is my speculation, he didn't have to worry about somebody come digging her up, if it's going to be a fight over it. No, like he did the right things and the right procedure to own the land that no one could dispute it, that was his. Because he wanted a place that was his to bury his wife. Not just him, he was thinking longevity, because not only in that same cave, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, and Jacob gets buried. So he bought something that eventually down the line that his family used. And so it was just by faith, he just believed God was going to do what he said he was going to do. And so I'm going to buy this land, I'm going to buy this plot of land, and I'm going to honor in, Sarah's life, and I'm going to just believe God as his word. And I think that's what's for us. Again, Abraham's whole life has been one of obedience, one of faith. We always talk about hiccups, but really his mark of his faithfulness and his trust and his ability to trust God even in things he can't see on the outright. Like he didn't know he was gonna have to wait 25 years to have a child with Sarah. He didn't know. It's just certain things he didn't know, but he kept walking by faith. And when you have the favor of God on you, like nobody can stop you from doing what God has called you to do. Like Abraham had such this faith, this belief that God can move in this beautiful way. And he did. And we see it time and time again, how when you're faithful and obedient to God, he shows up and do what only he can do. There's also another part in there that I thought was interesting with Ephron. And he said basically to Abraham, what is 400 shekels between us? So when somebody say, like, if I'm talking, you're on the other side of the camera, I said, well, what's $1 between us? It's kind of like, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to the relationship I have. Like, there's nothing, that's how my interpretation of it. And so really, or he could be saying, what's 400 shekels? We both, you wealthy, that's nothing. Let me bless you and give you all this for that. This is what the land is worth. This is what I want to do, because this is nothing between us. We're talking two wealthy men talking to each other. It's like saying, hey, there's nothing, this $15 is nothing between us. We know this, so let's make this transaction happen. And the fact that they were willing to do that with Abraham, again, the favor of God was upon him because the way Abraham walked. And I also think it's just a good reminder for me is like humbleness gives you take you longer than anything. Abraham didn't approach the sons of Heth with arrogance and coming at them with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Abraham simply approached them with just this humbleness, this like lowliness to say, hey, I do know who I am, but I honor you. And I just think like, man, that's such a good reminder. It's just like we can walk into who a very God thing God called us to, but there is a humbleness God wants us to have. He don't want us to walk around arrogant. Doesn't mean you're not confident as a child of God, but it also means like, hey, I'm gonna respect the people in front of me, whether we believe the same thing, whether we agree to the same things, none of that matters. I'm just humble myself and see you as person to person, human to human. That still is the call of children of God. That's always been the call of children of God. Like it's not something that that we get to hold over. I think that it goes into the glory of God. And that's what I see on Abraham. It's the glory of God that is on him. They're so attracted to him and admire the way he lives and see the wealth that he has. Then God can use it in a mighty way. And so those are just my simple notes from that we gotta walk in faith and do the thing God's called us to do. We need to be humbled and just humble and live a humble life and just treat people where we want to be treated. I think, and then we need to honor the people, because Abraham honored Sarah. He really, really did, y'all. Like he honored her, he loved her. I can only imagine 127, the years they walked together, the years they were married, the things they see up and down and around. And so it's just, you just see again how I can fully understand how the Pharisees and the people of the New Testament are basically saying, yo, I'm banking on the faithfulness of Abraham, because that was one faithful man. I'm banking on my descendants from the goodness of how he walked with God and intimacy and who he was. I'm banking on that. And I'm banking on it so much that I believe it's my coverage today, even though it wasn't. But that's just how much he lived and walked the walk and just loved God. So maybe let us all be challenged with that today. Let us love God with just the purity that Abraham did and lead by example, as have faith and continue to walk in obedience in what he's calling us to do. even in our sadness and in our grief, let's honor people around us, right? And so anyway, I hope that blessed you guys. This is a shorter video than normal, but that's okay. It's okay to be short. I hope this is a blessing, and we will jump into Genesis 24, because I was like, oh my God, Rebecca come in the scene, which Rebecca is Isaac's wife, and all the good things. And so in Genesis 24, we're really going to like break down the characters of what we see of the people in that chapter. Like what do we learn about them without them saying so many words? What do we learn from their actions, about their heart posture? Because a lot of our lives, our heart posture is our witness to other people. It's not always what we say, it's how we live our life. That is the witness. So I'm excited to kind of dive into that. And anyway, I will see you guys later.